What is going on? How has Russia been this lucky? Well, it hasn't. This isn't luck. This is what happens when you take a pandemic seriously and early, rather than, as in Europe, avoid doing anything until it's too late.
Thanks to swift measures we've taken in advance at both federal and regional levels in the first weeks of the worldwide epidemic outbreak, we managed to restrain the massive, and I would like to emphasize that, massive infiltration and spread of the disease in Russia.
This isn't a declaration of victory. There are no winners here, and there are no illusions that the virus will somehow skip over Russia. The point is to give the country time. Time to prepare, to save lives. As the outbreak began, Moscow dedicated a brand new hospital just to treat coronavirus patients. But China's experience taught the world a number of things. One hospital isn't enough. Authorities in Moscow are trying to follow in the dragon's footsteps. A China-style hospital is being erected just outside of Moscow, not for lack of beds now, but to make sure that there isn't a lack tomorrow. The plan is for a hospital town with its own sewer system, water filtration systems, and its own little countryside, an exclusion zone. At first, Europe did almost nothing to limit the spread. Wouldn't restrict travel, no serious quarantine. Instead, when it became obvious that they had left it for too long, they threw up their hands and said, most of us would get it anyway. Now that the citizens are angry, demanding answers, they admit that they mishandled it. Still, in defiance of all logic and reason, they've managed to shovel some of the blame onto Russia.
We noticed that there was pickup in amount of disinformation fed from outside of the EU, among others also from Russia or from providers which are based in Russia or linked somehow to pro-Kremlin sources.
They allege a Russian government-backed disinformation campaign based on 80 internet memes, which they won't show us, over the course of 2 months, which is about one piece of disinformation a day. For comparison, I get about 15 chain texts from my grandmother every day detailing a new magical cure for the coronavirus and its extraterrestrial origins. I should probably warn her. The European Union may launch an official inquiry into how pensioners are in on a disinformation conspiracy whereby they send silly text messages and chain letters to their grandkids. Or we could call it what it is: incompetent European bureaucrats who bungled an epidemic, allowed thousands to needlessly die, are now looking for a scapegoat.